Alright guys, welcome back to the channel where today we're going to be breaking down all the new content featured in the WWE 2K22 gameplay trailer. However, before we do that, let's take a look at the trailer in full. So that's the new trailer for WWE 2K22. There's quite a lot in there as we got the reveal of new superstars, new weapons and an updated backstage area. So let's run through the trailer again, this time breaking down all of the things that it has to offer. The trailer starts off with some familiar shots of Rey as we see Mysterio take a knee, with this shot giving us a close-up look at his attire, which this year looks to have been improved with the addition of high-resolution textures. The shot then fades out and we fade back in to Sasha Banks, who we see taunting in ring, with this shot giving us a close-up look at Sasha, whose attire is taken from early last year. After another fade, we find ourselves looking up at the Tribal Chief as we see Roman Reigns in the corner, signalling for his finisher. We then go back to Mysterio as we see a shot of Rey holding on to the top rope before the camera switches to reveal the first look at an updated Humberto as we see him laying prone on the mat with a cool visual of Rey's shadow performing a springboard. If we rewind this clip and we go back to the shot of Mysterio holding the ropes, whilst this is a shot that we're used to seeing, this shot appears to be a hint at one of the new gameplay mechanics, as it was revealed by Vibe that one of the new additions this year is the ability to walk over to the rope and press LB or L1 to grab hold of it, where you'll then have the option to walk around or perform a springboard. Moving on to the next shot, again we see Sasha Banks, this time on the top rope, where she appears to be taunting either as an actual taunt or the lead into a move. We then cut back to Mysterio springboarding into the ring, with the move revealed to be a springboard frog splash to the back of Humberto, who we see has now begun to get back up. Switching to Drew, here we have another shot of him plunging his sword into the stage to set off his pyro, with this version of the shot taking place in the new SmackDown arena. Next we find ourselves back with Rey as we have another shot of his entrance, this time in ring as he taunts in the corner, before we then switch to what looks to be actual gameplay footage of Rey performing the 619 on Dolph Ziggler. As we roll on, the next star to be revealed is The Rock, who's undergone a massive upgrade as this version of The Rock looks visually stunning as we see him on the apron during his entrance. From The Rock, we switch over to The Man, as this next shot shows off an updated model for Becky, who, like The Rock, appears to have undergone a major overhaul. However, the version of Becky shown off here is still the Man gimmick, there's no sign of big time Bex. Staying with entrance footage, our next reveal is Stone Cold Steve Austin, who we see strike a familiar pose on the turnbuckle before we then see Asuka, who removes her mask to reveal an updated model featuring green face paint. Switching back to gameplay, this next piece of footage shows off Big E's wake-up taunt, which sees him beating his chest, with the close-up camera again showing off the higher quality textures. From Big E, we switch over to Brock Lesnar, who we see make his entrance in the current Raw arena, with this shot confirming an updated version of Lesnar featuring a full-grown beard and a ponytail. Watching this at full speed in 60 frames per second really shows off the upgrades to the graphics this year, with the addition of the giant new Curvetron making for some really impressive visuals. Our next reveal is the original Bro, Matt Riddle, whose model looks to be a little bit older than some of the others that were shown, as this version of Riddle looks to be dated prior to RK Bro. Meanwhile, another model that is updated is that of Charlotte, as this next clip gives us a great look at her model, which can be seen sporting the Thanos-inspired attire that she wore at SummerSlam, complete with the Infinity Stones in the collar. Moving on to the next clip, this footage of Ricochet is actually old footage, as this clip is frame for frame the same footage that was shown off in the SummerSlam trailer, so it seems a bit odd to include it again. One thing the old footage does do though is show off the upgrade in visuals that's taken place since SummerSlam, as this next shot of Seth looks to be a big improvement over the footage of Ricochet, and an even bigger improvement over the footage that we've seen of Seth originally in the Hit List trailer. Shinsuke is up next, as we get a look at an updated model for the current King of the Ring, with this version of Shinsuke now seeing him sport a white attire complete with his black crown. The close-up shot of the entrance also appears to hint at the changes that Jinx referred to when he said that they improved cameras for entrances and cutscenes, as this shot appears to mirror the details that Jinx shared when he said that they've made them closer to the stars to really show off the detail. We have some tag team action up next, starting out with this shot of Jey Uso, who you can see has also undergone a big improvement over 2K20, with this footage showing Jey as he taunts and then charges towards the corner, before the footage then cuts to a tag team move that actually shows Jimmy approaching the corner, with Jey now holding Woods, allowing Jimmy to deal a massive forearm. Continuing to show off gameplay, this next clip sees Sasha in action against Bayley, with Sasha using what looks to be Ronda's signature Samoan drop, before we then cut to more footage of the pair, with Sasha this time performing a standing version of the Spanish Fly. As the trailer rolls on, we get to see some weapons brought into play, starting out with a shot of Mysterio climbing the ladder in the Raw arena, where he's followed by AJ Styles, who we see for the first time. Once the pair meet at the top, we see Rhea go on to perform a neckbreaker from the ladder to the outside, with the choice of move here being a little bit disappointing, as the move here is the same one that's been in the series for years, and it was only just shown off in the previous trailer featuring Seth and Miz. Following the action, the lights go out and we're met with the emergence of the Undertaker, who we see here staring down a ringside. As the camera changes, we get a look at the Undertaker's model, which looks to have undergone a new face scan that leaves him looking more lifelike than ever before. The attire though, this looks to be the same attire that was featured in 2K20, as the updated Boneyard match version of the Undertaker is being saved for this year's pre-order bonus. Getting back to gameplay, we return to the shot of Roman Reigns, where he can be seen setting up for a Superman punch, with the Tribal Chief then going on to deliver it to Big E. From this point in the trailer, this is where things begin to pick up, as we're given our first look at a new backstage area with Drew carrying a steel chair. The shot also shows off what looks to be an updated interview area, with the TV shown to feature the 2018 to 2019 Raw logo, therefore perhaps this is another arena that we'll see in-game. Following a camera cut, we see Drew delivering a chair strike to Lashley, with this angle showing off more of the backstage area. However, what I do want to draw your attention to is the level 1 sign and the elevator in the background, as given the fall scene featured in the Hit List trailer, it's possible that this could be usable to allow us to reach a second level. Speaking of the fall scene from My Rise, the area shown behind Lashley appears to resemble just that, as you can see all of the beams and the platforms that were previously shown off, with ladders also visible that could indicate areas players can climb. As the trailer progresses, we see Lashley bend down to pick up an object, with the next shot revealing this to be a hockey stick, as we see Lashley attempt to strike Drew in front of the elevator, only for Drew to reverse it, grabbing the hockey stick and then using it on Lashley. Despite the addition of the hockey stick as a new weapon, this appears to be a skin for the kendo stick rather than a brand new weapon entirely, as the animations used here are the same animations that we've seen for the kendo stick and all the different variations in 2K20. If we go on to freeze the footage on the final frames of this section, then you can also see a little bit more of the backstage area, with the area itself appearing to be quite large and open, with a vending machine also visible in the background. Heading back to the ringside area, the next matchup to be shown off is the steel cage match featuring Kevin Owens and Big E, as we first see both men on the top rope, with Big E smashing Owens against the cage before we then get a shot of Big E trying to climb out, only for Owens to stop him and pull him back, with the two men then shown off on top of the cage as Big E throws Owens back into the ring. As good as this footage may look, I honestly don't think this footage looks much different to 2K20, which is something that's not helped by the animations, as this entire section features old animations that were first introduced in 2K19. Moving on to new gameplay, we get our first look at Alexa Bliss, who we see picked up in the carry position by Rhea Ripley, with Rhea then dumping Alexa over the top rope, where she can be seen crashing through a table in another similar scene very similar to the previous trailer. Zooming in, you can see that this version of Alexa is based on her appearance at last year's Money in the Bank, however the hair used on Alexa looks to be slightly different. This footage also gives us a look at the table break animation, which looks to be different to past games, as not only does the table break differently, but the metal legs now also take damage and appear to bend. In the next piece of footage, we get a closer look at Ricochet's in-ring attire, which is the same red and black attire that was shown earlier in the trailer. We also get the reveal of Sami Zayn, who whilst he does feature an updated attire with his green khaki pants, Sami's hair looks to be quite outdated as it's a lot shorter than we tend to see on TV. Alongside Ricochet and Sami, we also have a third reveal in this footage, as zooming in on the left hand corner reveals an updated referee. The next set of footage shows off this year's Money in the Bank ladder match, with the first clip showing the reveal of Damian Priest, as we see Priest pull out a ladder from under the ring, before we then switch to another angle, with this second angle giving us a better look at his model, albeit still somewhat obscured. We then switch to a shot of Priest holding the ladder on the ramp, where he uses it to take out Sheamus, although hilariously, watching this footage in slow motion, it looks a lot more like Sheamus headbutts the ladder. After Sheamus knocks himself out, we switch over to footage of a Hell in a Cell match featuring Edge's new model, as we see Edge deliver the execution to Rollins. We then cut to a quick glimpse of one of the matches featured in Rey Mysterio's 2K showcase, as we see Rey taking on Eddie Guerrero at WrestleMania 21, with this footage confirming new attires for both. Jumping back to the present, we're off to Suplex City as we get some in-game footage of Brock's new model suplexing Drew, with this footage giving us a good look at the new update to Lesnar. As we cut to the next clip, here we see Becky in action as she takes down Asuka, with this footage appearing to confirm Becky's attire as the one that she wore for her match with Shayna Baszler at WrestleMania 36. As the trailer begins to close out, we get more footage of Sasha and Bayley in action, with Sasha taking down Bayley with an arm drag, before we then go back to Roman, who we see take out Big E with a spear. This shot also gives us a better look at the new referee, which I've seen some people speculate is Angelo Dawkins, and that this match could actually be a teaser for a special guest referee match. Whilst I don't know if that is the case, I have tried reaching out to 2K for confirmation, however they've yet to respond, so let me know in the comments what you think. The trailer then ends with a close-up shot of The Undertaker removing his hat, which gives us a great look at his new model, before we then quickly fade back to the cover star as the trailer fades out. So that's a full breakdown of everything contained in the new gameplay trailer. Visually, I think the game looks stunning, especially when it comes to entrances, as this looks to be a huge leap forward over previous games. In terms of gameplay, I do feel that the trailer could have done with a lot more actual gameplay in it, as the way that the trailer's cut together, it does make it really hard to see what's changed, especially when a lot of the animations do remain the same. So that's my take on it, but I would love to know what you make of it, so let me know what you think of the trailer in the comments, and if you're new to the channel and you want to stay up to date with all the latest news on the game, please do hit that subscribe button and turn on your notifications so that you don't miss out on future videos. Until next time though, thank you so much for watching, have yourself an awesome day, and I'll catch you later.